This is Trans Bedtime Stories. I'm Yvy DeLuca, and tonight I will be reading My Art, My Heritage and Me by Lucky Roy Singh. Get comfy and let me take you on a journey of South Asian beauty, culture and art. Dear Diary, today I awoke to the fresh smell of Mum's famous paratha. As I went downstairs, she wasn't anywhere to be seen. I saw the light on in her bedroom, and as I got closer, I could hear the jingle of her bangles. I opened the door a little and saw my beautiful mum adoring herself as she was putting on her makeup. The sunlight shined through the window as the air filled with the sweet smell of incense she had lit. I was mesmerized as she brushed her long hair and added a bindi to her forehead. I ran over to hug her, kissing her on the cheek. Mum laughed and giggled, surprised by my sudden appearance. On her dressing table, there was Indian jewellery and an eyeshadow palette in shades of brown and a rose crisp red. I ran my fingers over the jewellery as Mum finished applying a mist of perfume to her neck. She told me to go downstairs and eat breakfast as she was off out, and my dad would be up shortly. She grabbed her handbag and ruffled my hair as she left the bedroom. As I sat alone, I faced the mirror and felt the light gleaming through the window. I picked up the perfume bottle and sprayed some onto my skin. The scent of peaches and cream was delicious. Oh, how I crave to smell like that even now. I picked up the fancy makeup palette and used a brush to apply the shadow onto my eyelid. As the brush stroked across, the colour glossed onto my eye like a precious greeting by my Guruji. I felt scared and beautiful all at once. My heart was pounding, yet it felt so right to carry on. The rich red colour made my eyes look beautiful and bold. I used the tips of my fingers to blend the edge of my eyes, just like Mum did. I felt completely free to express myself in any way I wanted. Red always reminded me of my holidays in India when we played Holi. It was such a magical experience, full of colour, culture, and a celebration of my heritage. I ran my fingers across the jewellery like I was playing chopsticks on the piano. I picked up a mung tikka and placed it on my forehead. The gold metal chilled my skin like ice, but sat pretty on me like it was always meant to be there. The iridescent gems sparkled in the light and made my eyes glint. Tears began to fall, like water in the golden temple of Harmandir Sahib. I felt the gods with me, blessing my true, authentic self. Suddenly, I heard my dad's booming voice. I was terrified. I loved how I looked, but I knew he wouldn't understand. Maybe he would, but I just didn't feel like now was the right time. I put the mung tikka in my pocket and ran to the bathroom before he caught me. I scrubbed my eyes so hard they began to sting. I shouted to my dad that I was in the bathroom as I wiped the makeup off. As I glanced in the mirror, I saw that my face was a blank canvas again. I felt empty. I clutched the mung tikka in my pocket and left the bathroom. Dad's voice boomed again, telling me I was late for my Bhangra class. I ran to my bedroom and hurried to get ready. When we arrived, I sat down as the dance teacher set up the class. Across the hall, I noticed a row of girls lining up by a bar, wearing beautiful tutus and moving gracefully. I had no idea why I was drawn to them. The other students arrived for Bhangra class and I walked over to join them. As I approached the open doors, I turned to see the ballet girls once more. I was hypnotized by their elegance and poise. I was desperate to know what it was like to strike the same poses and feel a tutu around me. Oh wow, I muttered, how beautiful. I turned to see all the boys in my class mocking me, laughing at what I said. Ballet is for girls and sissies and white people, one of them said, gleefully. I felt so alone, as though I was the only one in the world who wanted to be myself. I knew in my heart that I was beautiful, but as I heard their mocking laughter, I couldn't help but feel so alone. What's the point? They're probably right. I sat back on the bench as they continued to laugh at my pain. As I glanced over at the ballet girls, I suddenly noticed that they were all white. In Bhangra class, we had such a range of students, and I couldn't help but wish that ballet class could be just as inclusive. My class finally started, and the Bhangra music filled the room, which made me feel great. Bhangra always gave me a sense of freedom and joy, like a beam of energy through my soul. Still, I was so eager to watch the girls in their tutus dance across the hall. I love my heritage and everything about my culture, but why can't I infuse that with any other kind of dance? After class had finished, I waited for my dad to pick me up. Everyone left but my dance coach, who was busy on his phone. I snuck across the hall as the ballet class continued and watched as they danced. I placed my hand in my pocket and grasped the mangtika. I clutched it hard, remembering how it felt to apply the makeup to my eyes and how pretty the jewel looked on my head. I pulled it out and held it before me. I closed my eyes and imagined myself with beautiful long hair, wearing a breathtaking Indian dress and makeup on my face. I saw myself dancing so elegantly, just like the ballet girls, to the hypnotic beats of Bhangra. I felt more alive than I'd ever felt my whole life. Why? I was being true to my authentic self. I was embracing my inner soul. Love, Lucky. Thank you for joining me for Trans Bedtime Stories. I'm Yvy DeLuca, and you are listening to My Art, My Heritage and Me by Lucky Roy Singh. Make sure you stay tuned for the next Trans Bedtime Stories and enjoy Trans Vegas 2021.